Hey guys, Bobby here. The stakes are massive and every play matters. It is do or die with only 2 teams. Let's go. Super Bowl 59, whether your team is in it or you're watching from the sidelines, it's the energy, it's the drama, it's the excitement of all these games for everyone. So get your snacks, get ready to cheer loud, and let's go because history is about to be made. And don't forget to get in on the action with DraftKings. They're my partners, DraftKings Sportsbook. You want to get your adrenaline pumping? Let's go. They're offering all new customers $200 bonus bets instantly after betting just $5. All you got to do is download the DraftKings app now and sign up using the code BOBBY. That's it. Put in the code BOBBY. Boom. If sports betting is not available yet where you are in your state, no worries. You can still join in on all the fun with DraftKings Daily Fantasy. Just download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. If you're a new customer, use my promo code BOBBY. It's going to help you out. Bet just $5 on any wager and get $200 in bonus bets instantly. You're going to love it. I love it. The promo code is BOBBY, only at DraftKings Sportsbook. The crown is yours.
Go.
On the Bobby Bones Show now.
Lainey Wilson.
Lainey, good to see you.
Good to see you.
Your song that's about to go number 1 is really hard for me to say.
It's hard for me to say. It's a lot easier to sing.
Yeah, because now I got it.
4 by you.
Yeah,
You have to do it like that.
4 by 4 by you.
Yeah.
Yeah. When you guys were titling it,
Yeah.
did you go through a couple different variations?
No, that's the one they came in with. And
4X,
then
4XU?
Yeah.
Yeah. I like it. It stands out. I for some reason have trouble with that.
Well, sometimes, like if I'm talking about it in my set of the show, instead of saying, and then let's play 4 by 4 by you, I just say, let's do 4 by.
I would say 4 by 4 you, and then I would get a note going, you didn't say it right. Do it again.
Yeah, no, 4 by.
Congratulations again.
Thank you.
I mean, are you tired or are you rested?
I'm rested right now. I got like a 3-week break, which is the longest break I've had in a really long time.
Does that break allow you to be bored and then be creative again?
Yes. I feel more creative than I have in a very long time. It's funny you say be bored because I kept saying I need to get bored. I got to get bored. So whatever that looks like, I need to watch paint dry. But I feel more creative than ever. And I'm realizing that like you got to give yourself that space to be bored, to get creative.
I had to get in that space too. I didn't realize it because I would just run and do 72 things and think that I was really accomplishing something. What I was doing is just tasking.
That's it.
But then I would be so far behind on creating things to where even like last year, I was like, I've got to be bored. And it sounds like a lame thing to say.
I know.
But
it's so true.
There are 2 places, being bored or in the shower for me. For some reason, I'm like able to think clearly in the maybe because there are no other options.
I know. And a place for me now is, well, I come up with like song ideas in the shower, but also I just got me a red light sauna. That thing's changed my life, and I leave my phone out of it. I get in there and I just like sit with me and my own thoughts, which is kind of a scary thing at times, but it's a good place just to shut it down, like really shut it down.
An admission, we have a red light sauna as well, but I keep my phone in there until that little message goes, your phone's too hot, throw it out.
Stop.
I swear, I know. It is terrible of me.
That is hilarious.
Because you know when you leave it out in the sun, it'll go, phone's too hot.
Yeah.
I will keep it until it says that, and then
And then you let it cool off.
And then I'll lay it outside. Yeah, I just felt self-shame when she told her story of like having
I've definitely taken it in there before.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
I have some, and I usually don't do this, but I feel like some of these are so interesting. I have some talking points, and I always get talking points from your people, and sometimes we hit them, sometimes we don't.
Yeah.
But some of them are so interesting because, again, you've done so much. I would like to just hit a point and you tell me a story about each of them.
Let's do it.
Number 1, you co-hosted the CMAs with Peyton Manning and Luke Bryan. What's your favorite story from that?
Oh my gosh. Well, first of all, Luke is like right before he'll be like, hey, let's switch it up. Let's do this. And I was about to have a heart attack. He's the kind of dude that can do anything on the fly like that. Not me. I'm like, I'm reading this prompter and I'm doing a good job to read the prompter, you know? There were a few times when I was like squinting my eyes because I had terrible vision. And so that next week I went and got LASIK. I said, if I'm going to be reading teleprompters and we can't be doing all this.
So you got LASIK because, I mean, probably, do you wear glasses at all?
Yeah, so I got glasses when I was in 4th grade. Terrible vision. But it was after the CMAs where I was like, I need to do something about this.
Did it help?
100%.
That's what Eddie said too.
Oh, yeah. It was amazing.
I have one eye that doesn't work. My right eye doesn't work. It gets like 8% vision, but it's a brain thing.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to go get LASIK because we have people that we know that do LASIK, and it's a game changer. And you're saying from experience, it's totally changed everything.
It's totally changed everything. And I wasn't the best about taking my contacts out. You know how it is on the road. You're just like doing good to get in the bed, and it's changed everything. I can see the big E now.
The big E.
The big E, you know, when you're doing your eye exam.
Oh, the eye exam.
Oh,
Yes.
okay. I was wondering too.
I was like, the
No.
big E, is this some term? Got it. What's Peyton Manning like to work with?
He's awesome. He is very chill. Him and my boyfriend, they're buddies and have gone hunting together and have so much to talk about. So it's like he wants to talk about duck with me.
Duck, your boyfriend.
Yes.
You're nominated for Best Country Album at the Grammy Awards.
Yes, which is crazy.
How did they tell you? How did you know? Give me a little story on that.
We were on the bus. It was one of our very last shows of the tour, and we were just all kind of sitting around a computer. My band was all tuned in because they played on this record. This is the first record of mine that they had been a part of like that. So it was just a cool thing for all of us. So we were on the edge of our seat on the bus, got the news, jumped up and down, went and played a show. And when I saw who everybody was, when I saw everybody who was nominated, I was like, holy moly. I mean, you got Post, who put out a great record this year, and so many people were a part of it. I was proud to be a part of that one too. And I wrote the song that him and Dolly Parton did together on that. So it was a cool moment.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
The halftime show of the Cowboys game. Thanksgiving, that's pretty cool.
38 million households tuning in. I'm glad they didn't tell me that until it was over.
What do we not know about that? Meaning, what can you hear? How is it different than a normal show?
So my vocal was live, but the band, that was all tracks because it's too much to like get out there and make sure the instruments are all tuned up when it's a like quick turnover like that. So the only thing that was live was my vocal. So my band had it easy that night.
Did they fake play?
Yeah, they have to mime that. Yep.
That's funny because I know
Yeah.
I'd get caught not doing it, or I'd get caught like
Yeah,
doing
like,
something
wrong
weird.
chord.
I know.
What about
Yeah.
the drums? Are they hitting the drums?
They're still playing it. They're still doing all of the
Oh,
things.
okay.
Oh, it's just not plugged in.
But it's just not like going through the PA because that would have been because you know how it is in a stadium. It's like lots of feedback,
And delay.
and talk about technical difficulties. I mean, we were running into them like seconds leading into the performance. I could not hear myself in my ears at all, and I thought, well, Lord, here we go.
And your hometown, like how's Baskin doing?
Baskin's good. They just named the highway after me.
No way.
the entire highway.
A little part of the highway. The same highway that I got a ticket on when I was 15, so that's funny.
That's pretty cool. Have you seen the sign yourself?
Yeah, I did.
Did you take a picture by it?
Oh, yeah.
That's pretty cool.
It is pretty cool.
Now you can't like commit a crime.
Oh,
There's like a pressure. Like when my hometown put up a sign on me, I was like, well, I can't.
I know.
Now I have to
Because
like.
I've just been itching to
Me too. Like I was literally gonna rob a bank the next day, and I
I
was
know,
like,
you're
I
like,
can't do
dang
it now.
it. Well,
Yeah.
that'll hold you accountable. Just get a highway, and that will hold you accountable.
What's happening this year? Like, what are you excited about in 2025?
We're about to go across the pond. I'm excited to play Paris. I didn't even know there were country music fans in Paris, but there are.
Do you worry about and have because you can get tickets? You know, our show's on internationally in some places. So if you're listening to this and you want to go watch Lainey in Zurich or
Mhm.
Berlin or London, I feel like a lot of country music fans.
For
in
sure.
England. Yeah, but Paris, you're right. And I see the Paris show in March.
Yep.
Do you look at like ticket sales for them to go, is anybody even going to buy a ticket in Paris?
Well, we were worried, like, because the truth is lots of country artists don't go to Paris. I think a handful of them have. I think Luke Combs did once. And I was like, well, let's just see. Let's just have a very, very small venue. It'll just be, acoustic or whatever we need to do just to, like, show face and go see, like, test the waters. And then we sold out in just a few minutes. So then we kept, like, getting bigger venues.
That's
So-
cool.
Oh, love that.
Have you played anywhere where they don't know English yet? Or English isn't their first language?
Yes.
How did-
Germany.
How did
is-
that go? Do they sing it? Does it sound weird when they sing it back?
If you're watching their mouths when you're trying to remember your own lyrics, it can get pretty risky. So you have to look at their forehead.
I feel like they would be extremely grateful for American acts to come overseas. Not
They
because
are.
they're just dying for American acts, but anybody that they like, if they do travel all that way, I feel like that would be a very grateful crowd.
They are very grateful. That's the best word to use for all of the country music fans across the pond, because you can just tell they love storytelling, and you can tell that storytelling is not oversaturated over there. And so they're just like on the edge of their seat. They just want to hear it. They want to lean in and listen. So it's important for me to remember that I had more fans over there than I did here back in 2018, 2019.
You're like the boy bands of the 90s.
Yeah.
They were massive over in Europe, and they came over in America, and people were like,
I wasn't massive. I just had,
no, you were.
I had
You were in sync. You were in sync of the
Yes,
90s,
that's it.
Lainey.
That's it. I was.
You were.
That was me.
I want to do deep questions with Lainey Wilson. I've got 3 very deep questions.
Okay.
Think about these here. If your next 5 years were a chapter in a book, what do you think that chapter would be about?
Balance. Actually, Keith Urban said something to me, I guess about a year ago. I was just like, how do you keep that balance, like with your work, with family, with making sure that you're taking care of your business, but also taking care of your relationships and friendships and all that. And he told me, he said, it's better to maintain balance than try to always achieve it. And I was like, To me, that means being able to have just as much time with my people and the people that I love as just as much time as I'm working, and putting, not putting my eggs all in one basket.
Question number 2. What is a lesson that you learned the hard way?
Oh, Lord. Don't go 75 and a 45?
Now, are you being literal?
No.
Okay, fair.
I mean, well, yes, I've definitely gone 75 and a 45, but yeah, I think like slowing down, like taking a breath, looking up, enjoying it, because those moments can like pass you by. And everybody says it, they're like, make sure you're taking time to be present. And I think I just heard that and heard it over and over again, but didn't quite understand it until maybe I did let some moments pass me by too quick.
I think the understanding of it comes once you've had the experience of not doing it right.
Yes.
Otherwise, it's just frou-frou words.
Yeah.
Because there have been times, too, where I've just gone, again, 10,000 miles an hour, and I regret not slowing down. But I don't think I would have slowed down later and appreciated it later
Yes.
had I not done it wrong initially.
That's right. And two, I felt like when I was going 75 and a 45, at times it was important. The squeaky wheel gets the grease. And I felt like I needed to keep the pedal down to keep going. And had I not, things might not look like they do right now. So I wouldn't go back and really change it all, but I'm just learning. I'm growing.
Do you get nervous about any project coming out? Let's say not music, and I can give you a quick version of this. I have a comedy special coming out soon on a network, and it's super cool, but I'm like, it's like that new, oh God, this is going to suck, or it's going to be awesome. Either way, it makes me nervous, but I've just been through it so many times and it's been fine either way, if it bombs or it's awesome.
Yep.
That I'm like, regardless, I'm going to wake up the next day.
Yes.
I've bombed so many things that even if it goes terrible, I'm good.
That's right.
Do you deal with that where you're like, I'm a little nervous about this, but now you have the experience to know either way, sun comes up tomorrow?
Yes, I will say, even with this record that we put out in August, Whirlwind, I definitely had that feeling of like, oh shoot, I hope people think that this is like a step up, we got to level up. But I also knew that it was still the best thing I had ever done. And I was more proud of it than anything that I'd ever done. So I was like, well, if I can go to sleep at night and lay my head down and really believe that, then I did my job.
Can you hold on to that as the project gets closer to coming out?
No.
I know. I was just talking to my therapist about it yesterday. Same thing.
Dude.
I know.
It's like somebody was telling me, I can't even remember who it was. It was another artist. They were like, it's like you're about to send your kid off to school for the first time, and you are so excited. You're like, get these kids out of the house, send them to school, put their butt in school, and then all of a sudden the days are they're getting here, and you're scared and you're nervous and you're sad, and you have a lot of feelings that come along with it. I'm sure you do.
Final question, deep questions with Lainey. What would you do if you were not afraid? That you haven't done. What would you do if you were not afraid, straight up?
I mean, skydive, but
Would you be allowed to do that right now at this point in your career? Or like, would your people be like, can we hold off on that? Things are looking up.
you know what? I think I'm gonna go book me an appointment today. Let's see what they say.
I went skydiving because I was so afraid of it. Went by myself.
Really?
Yeah, because I was just terrified of it. And I was like, I got to go do it. I hated it. I didn't tell anybody I was
Like
doing
you
it.
wouldn't do it again?
No, God, no, I hated it. But I did it. But I only did it because I was so afraid to do it.
Yeah, and I normally do things that I'm afraid of too. So I keep talking about being afraid of skydiving, which probably means that I am going to do it at some point in time. But I'm not like itching to do it. But it sounds terrifying. Have you ever done it?
Yeah.
You
I
did it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They liked it.
Well, I don't know that I would say I liked it. I won't do it again,
You
but I
won't do it
didn't
again.
hate it.
Got
I thought
it.
it was a really cool experience, and I'm proud of myself.
Yeah.
But you do it tandem, so you have someone that you're jumping with, and
I hated it. I felt none of those. I would never do it again. I hate myself. And it was stupid.
oh yeah,
Yeah, but I did it. I did it. What was funny to me was, and this has been a couple years, when you started to really pop, when people started questioning if your accent was real,
Yeah.
I would just laugh.
Yeah.
And that had to be weird for you too, where you're like, I've talked like this my whole life, and now people, like, you can literally go on your Instagram, go back in
Yes.
time and see you talking like you talk and where you're from. That's odd, huh?
Oh my gosh. Well, honestly, that bothered me more than anything else they would say. You can tell me I'm ugly and I can't sing, but don't talk about the way I talk. That's something you can't change.
Yeah, it was weird for them to be like, she's an industry plant. She doesn't even talk like that.
I know.
Like, you guys are just looking for people to get likes
That's it.
on social media.
That's it.
Congratulations again. 4x4 by you. About to be number 1 again.
Thank you.
It's really great to see you.
You too, man.
If I give you just a few song titles, can you give me a quick story about them? Because we're going to do a whole bunch of songs.
Let's do it.
Okay. Give me a story about Heart Like a Truck.
Heart like a truck. My goodness. Well, I brought a little girl up on stage in Raleigh, North Carolina. She was the cutest thing. You can see the video on my Instagram. Her name was Savannah, and she jumps up on stage, and we had already sang "Heart Like a Truck," and she jumps up there and she's like, "Lainey Wilson, you're my best friend." She talked just like me. I was like, "What in the world?" And she was like, "You're my best friend, and my daddy said if I could get up on stage, he's gonna buy me a horse trailer. My favorite song is Heart Like a Truck." And so she starts singing. Y'all, you got to go watch it. It is the cutest thing ever. I think it's pinned.
Of all the memories with that song, that's awesome that still comes to your mind, like an interaction with a fan at a concert.
Yes.
And you even know she was going to get a horse trailer.
Well, I won't follow through on that. Like, hopefully the dad.
That she got a horse trailer?
Well, so
He
I
better.
FaceTimed her.
Okay.
Probably about 2 months ago, and I need to catch up with her now. But they were looking at horse trailers and they were figuring it out. She FaceTimed me and showed me her whole farm, and she was introducing me to her cats. It was the cutest thing.
Let's do one more. Things a man ought to know.
Oh my gosh. I was hungover the day that I wrote that. I did not want to go to the co-write, and I felt terrible. But I knew the song was special. We get ready to cut the record. The song was not even on the list, not even on the short list. And I remember where I was on Dickerson Pike heading home, and I was going under an overpass, and I swear to you, it just hit me like a ton of bricks. I was like, "Things a man ought to know. We got to cut it." And so we already had our 12 songs picked out for that record, and I called the label and I said, "We got to figure out what to ditch because we got to do Things a Man Ought to Know."
That's cool.
Yeah.
And then you look like a genius later then you should get hung over more is what I think.
That's
Man,
what
if
I'm
I just
saying.
get
I
hung
was
over all
like-
the time, I'll have these great ideas.
I know.
Do you remember why you were hungover though? Like or
Alcohol.
Just,
I'm sure it had something to
She
do
was
with Red
drinking.
Door.
no. I know it was alcohol, but I didn't know if there was something celebratory the night before that like you remember, or if it was just like random fun.
There was a time in my life where I was celebrating everything. That was probably what was happening.
Okay.
One final question about early on. Whenever your music was getting used in Yellowstone, what were those songs? Do you remember?
It was like off the first record. There was one called Small Town Girl, Straight Up Sideways. And then off the second record, it was like Smell Like Smoke. It was more of the upbeat.
Do you feel like that was your first recognition from something substantial to go, hey, we think you're really good. We want to invest in you and put you on this platform?
For sure. And I will tell you, the show in general introduced my music to lots and lots of people. Like, we would keep up with, I barely had any fans over here, but I had some songs on this show, and we would keep up with like how many Shazams it got, you know, and then it really did like translate. Like, people would come to the show and be like, I found you through Yellowstone. So I think it was a very big part of, there's so many different parts to this, you know how that goes, but I think it was a big part.
Well, always great to see you. Congratulations. Love when you're around. You guys follow at Lainey Wilson Music. And again, she's doing a bunch of shows over in Europe. Like a lot of places you probably haven't been, that I haven't been, that I only ever see on TV.
Yep.
First time I ever traveled, I was like, I'm only going places I've ever seen on TV because I didn't know of places.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was kind of cool because everything's so old over there.
I love it.
It's like
I can't
buildings
wait.
that are older than our country.
I know.
That are weird. It's weird.
It is very weird.
Mm-hmm. Congratulations, Lainey. Love seeing
Thank
you.
you,
There
buddy.
she is. Lainey Wilson, everybody. Thank you.
y'all.
It's a Bobby Bones show.